Olga Koloshich. Ms. Koloshich is a scientific leader of master's degree Air Services Logistics in Belarusian State Academy of Aviation. She has participated in the research work of Belarusian State Academy of Aviation, Belarusian Transport Research Institute of the Ministry of Transport and Communications of the Republic of Belarus to study current issues in the field of international law, taking into account the requirements of the Convention on International Civil Aviation, the legislation of the European Union, the Eurasian Economic Union, and their implementation national legislation of the Republic of Belarus. Ms. Koloshich has a certificate of internal auditor for the quality management system according to the international standards. She is a member of the European Air Law Association. Ms. Koloshich is the lead legal advisor of the Aeronautical Information Department of the Bela Aeronavigația Republican Unitary Air Navigation Services Enterprise, Belarus, Minsk. I call upon Ms. Olga Koloshich today to talk upon the topic ICAO standards and recommended practices, safety management under Annex 19 to the Chicago Convention.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to organized speakers and conference participants. Thank you for your invitation to the conference. I'm glad to be a speaker among well-known international air law aspects. It is my first experience as a speaker at such a world-class conference. And my theme of my speech is ICAL standards and recommended practice, safety management under Annex 19 to the Chicago Convention. Due to lack of time, I will be brief. Annex 19 safety management to the Chicago Convention is a general mechanism of behavior in the international safety field questions. I'm going to talk about theoretical aspects and structure of the safety management system and consent to of the state safety program, the requirements for the safety management system implemented by the service providers, and also talk briefly about the Republic of Belarus national system for the safety management. Please, next. The preparation of Annex 19 was driven by the implementation of safety management initiatives, recommendations of the Director General of Civil Aviation Conference on a global strategy of aviation safety in Montreal and high-level safety conference in Montreal too. A new Annex 19 safety management involved of consolidation of the provisions of the standard and recommended practice for safety management into a single new annex. Annex 19 includes Annex 1, Annex 6, 8, 11, 13, and 14 provisions. Next, please. The Annex 19 purpose is to create a unified safety management system to improve the efficiency and functions, manage the risks to safety arising from the state of insurance safety and safety oversight. The main objectives of Annex 19 are safety performance, safety risk management, state safety program, state safety oversight system, and critical elements of state safety oversight system, surveillance obligations, integration of safety management activities. Please, next. Annex 19 applications of states as a contracting state under the Chicago Convention and aviation service providers and operators that implement a safety management system. Please, next slide. Annex 19 separates the state responsibilities and service providers and operators with regard to safety management. Our lecture has three aspects of Annex 19. The first, please, next slide. The first, state safety management responsibilities. Please, next slide. Critical elements of the state safety oversight system and safety management system. The first, state safety management responsibilities. The state is responsible for ensuring the safety in its country. The state adopts state safety program, which is based on the critical elements of state safety oversight. The state fulfills its responsibilities of ensuring safety, exercise safety oversight and surveillance obligations of aviation activities in order to ensure the safety, efficiency and regulatory of air transportation. Please, the next slide. There are not identical concepts. Next, we will consider the concept of safety oversight and surveillance obligations. And the state is responsibilities to ensuring the safety to location of necessary human and financial resources. The state is obligated within the framework of safety management to comply with ICAO standard and recommended practice, to perform the state's own safety management functions, and oversee the safety management system implemented by service providers. Please, next. State safety program. State safety program when state adopts and implements SSP as a set of rules and measures aimed at provisions aviation safety level with the scale and comprehensiveness of the state civil aviation system. A state may delegate safety management functions and activities to other state or other organizations. The state creates a legal effective mechanism with certain operating rules, ensuring the coordination the safety management by government. An SSP as administrative safety management system in a state, coordination of the activities of the authorities responsible for performing functions in the field of civil aviation in a state. You need them into one common mechanism to ensure flight safety. Let's look at the slide, and here we see the structure of SSP. The State Aviation Safety Program has four components: state safety policy, objectives and resources, state safety risk management, state safety insurance, and state safety promotion. In the Republic of Belarus, adopt National Civil Aviation Safety Program, approved by the resolution of the Council of Ministers of the Republic of Belarus. This program contains four components and is adopted in accordance with the ICAO requirements. Please, next. It divides the first component as state safety policy, objectives and resources. It divides how the state should manage safety within its aviation system. It includes the requirements for state aviation departments, their functions and safety objectives that are expected to be achieved. Component number one includes primary aviation legislation, specific operation regulations, state system and functions, qualified technical personnel, technical guidance, tools, and provision of safety critical informants. Please, next. Component number two, state safety risk management, include 6 components. Component number 3 includes flight safety at the state level and includes surveillance obligations and state safety performance. And component number 4 includes international and excellent communications and dissemination of safety information. Critical elements of the state safety oversight system. Each state creates and includes a state safety oversight system. There are 8 critical elements of the state safety oversight system, and they interconnected and complement each other. There are, please next, primary aviation legislation, specific operating regulations, state system and functions, qualified technical personnel, technical guidance, tools, and provision of safety critical information, licensing, certification, authorization, or approval obligations, surveillance obligations, resolution of safety issues. Next, please. In my opinion, the main critical elements of state safety oversight system with which the state begins work on analysis, creating, and implementation of SSP are: there are critical aviation legislation, state system and functions, surveillance obligations. Effective implementation of these critical elements is an indicator of the state ability to exercise safety oversight. And later we see the first critical element, primary aviation legislation. Please, next. ICAO develops and is regulatory implementation the Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program, which provides to regular systematic safety audits in all contracting states. This program contains critical elements, and the first of one, primary aviation legislation, and its compliance with international standards. Let's consider one of the first and, in my opinion, one of the important elements of the state safety oversight system. This is the main aviation legislation. Each state adopts a law on aviation code or law. Such a law should ensure compliance with safety regulations, oversight and management of civil aviation activities. Compliance with the aviation law is ensured by the civil aviation authorities of the state. State adopting of aviation legislation at the approval level, taken into account by legal system of the state. The state adopted comprehensive and effective aviation law. In the Republic of Belarus, adopted the Air Code of the Republic of Belarus. The aviation law should be mobile, operational, and its adopting the implementation should enable the state to regard civil aviation activities and involves regulations through the operative authorities or agencies established for this purpose. And the aviation law should provide for government aviation authorities, it may be CAA or aircraft accident investigation authorities, access of personnel performing safety aviation functions, and aviation law should provide for ability to fulfill safety oversight responsibilities. The second critical element, state system and functions. A state creates a government state management system. The state establishes safety policies and objectives that state establish appropriate authorities or departments that have qualified personnel and adequate financial resources. Each government authority or agency has safety functions and objectives to fulfill its safety management responsibilities. The state established inspectors' bodies. Inspectors are personnel performing safety oversight functions. To implement SSP, the state is established a coordination group of experts for aviation authorities. This group could be a civil aviation authority of department. In the Republic of Belarus, the implementation and maintenance of SSP is carried out by the Department of Aviation of the Ministry of Transport and Communications of the Republic of Belarus. An SSP reflects the functions and activities of an SSP, and responsibilities and functions of each state authority in relation to the implementation of an SSP should be documented to avoid confusion. The state should ensure to all aviation personnel have a common understanding of SSP implementation at the national level. The approach to implementing an SSP should be documents. And the main documents are state policy in the field of safety management, state goals of the field safety management. Safety obligations represent the state safety management priorities and establish a plan for the allocation and direction of government resources. The state establishes, maintains, and conclusion improves the acceptable level of safety performance in the state issue and SSP. And all of these activities are allocated government resources to support SSP implementation. The state also creates a national aviation safety program in accordance with the objectives of the Global Aviation Safety Program. That state and made SSP document. SSP document when the government issued rules which are uh, difficult and as separate document in order to ensure a common understanding by all relevant aviation personnel. And the state has a document process for taking action to resolve identified safety insurance, including enforcement. And the second critical elements as surveillance obligations. Surveillance obligations when the state establish procedures for conducting checks, inspectors of the areas of activity of the service providers. The state established documents process by preparing and planning inspectors, audits, and continuous monitoring measures to ensure that aviation license, certificates, permit, and/or approval holders continue to meet specified requirements. In the Republic of Belarus, the state enterprise aviation inspectors of Republic of Belarus has created to implement critical element number 7. And the second big element of safety management under Annex 19 is safety management system. Safety management system when each state as part of its SSP required the implementation of SMS by the following service providers under its control, that is, service providers and operators establish a safety management system. There are safety management providers and operators, approved training organization in accordance with Annex 1. Airlines and helicopter operators license, according with Annex number 6. Approved maintenance organization provides services, approved in accordance with Annex number 6, by organizations responsible for the type decision, in accordance with Annexes number 8. Air traffic services providers in accordance with Annex number 11, and operators of certified aerodromes in accordance with Annexes number 14. The issue of considering of implementation of SMS in each time of aviation organization and is while and requirement of separate presentation. And please, next slide. And next, and next. And we can see the framework compliance for components and level elements as the minimum requirements of SMS implementation. The first, safety policy and objectives, safety risk management, safety insurance, and safety promotions. The first, safety policy and objectives as management commitment, safety accountability and responsibles. Appointment of key safety personnel, coordination and emergency responsible planning, SMS documentation, safety risk management, safety insurance, and safety performance. I think is very difficult, very important in this structure as SMS documentations. The service provider develops the SMS implementation plan and improve and include a detailed description of safety providers' policies, procedures and procedures when including moments who has an annex number, annex 19. And at the end of my speech, I would like to emphasize that the safety policy is the framework of Annex 19 should help to ensure that both state and service providers understand and apply the safety management policies. Knowledge of the theoretical foundations of the Annex 19 and gaze to it will allow to understand better the mechanism of operation the safety management system within the integration of international community in the aviation field. And the main role of the established effective safety management, and it is necessary to focus on aviation lawyers' role, who must have a high level of knowledge of international air law, national legislation, and the legislation of the states to which flights are operated. Thank you for your attention.